guys, and welcome back to another video. If you've been following our YouTube channel, you would have seen us put up a little post saying we're looking for a high mileage E92 M3 for a project car. So a week later, we have found one. Now don't do what I've just done and bought one completely sight unseen. I paid for it and it's just being delivered now. It's a Monte Carlo edition. It has 152,000 miles. So when I was looking for the car, I wanted the higher mileage as possible. So we have actually bought the highest mileage E92 M3 that was advertised at the time, and I think it's the highest one that I've actually ever seen. So the car's just arrived. Let's just take a quick look at it. I haven't actually seen it yet, so for 152,000 miles, if I'm honest, it doesn't look to be in that bad a shape. The paintwork looks in good condition. There's no dings on this side. There is the amount of stone chips I would expect for that kind of mileage. It's got a set of matching Michelin Super Sport tyres. It's a bit of curbing on the wheels, but in general the bodywork looks actually pretty good. Let me take a look at the carbon roof, which Matt can't see at the moment. I mean, that looks pretty decent as well. I can't see any lack appeal or anything like that. Yeah, back bumper, everything looks kind of straight. The only ding I can see is on the side here, so I think we've kind of got lucky with that. But the idea of this project is not to make a mint car. The idea was to get something really high mileage and have a look at what needs to be rectified on the car. And the other reason for not having driven it down is because obviously 150,000 miles, we don't know if the rod bearings have been changed, so I'm not taking any risks. First thing we're going to do with this car is actually do the rod bearings. Before we do that, let's get the car on the ramp and we'll go through the car with Aston and Hash and have a look at what the state of it is. We've got the car on the ramp ready to do the rod bearings, but before we do that, let's take a closer look at the car. This is the highest mileage car I've ever bought, and I never thought I'd be buying an M3 with this kind of mileage, but I think it's going to make a good project. The eagle-eyed among you would have noticed that this is in fact a Monte Carlo edition. So BMW did for the UK market make what they call M3 editions. They were in Monte Carlo blue, Dakar yellow and Alpine white. There's only 110 of these, and they're also differentiated with other cars because this was actually the precursor for the competition pack cars. So it has competition pack suspension, has blue stitching on the inside, and it has a blue stripe on the seats. Generally, condition wise, for 152,000 miles, I think it's not too bad. The wheels have got some curbing on them. You've got a bit of corrosion on the wheel caps, on the black trims around the doors and wing here, but apart from that, a few dents here and there. I'm actually really surprised at the condition it's in. You can also see some wear marks along the trims here, probably because it's been washed about 1,000 times, but in general it is looking to be on the exterior actually in pretty good condition. The interior as well is not bad. I was expecting the driver's seat bolster to be worn a lot more than it is. So when I saw the pictures from the seller, they weren't showing those pictures at all, and I didn't really care too much because I just wanted a really high mileage car, but it's not in bad shape at all. Let's take a look over at the engine bay before we get it up. So other options wise, this car is a DCT and it does have the later sat-nav and iDrive system. Under here, to be fair, it doesn't look too bad. I can see a bit of oil seeping down here, but on start up and idling the car it does sound fine. We're not going to know until we get the car up and take the rod bearings out to see if they've actually been changed. We don't know. Car does have service history. It had full BMW service history up to about 110,000 miles, and then it had specialist service after that. And the only thing we can see that's been changed is actually the fuel pump. So I'm really excited to see what condition these rod bearings are in. We don't know if they've been changed, and when we pull them out, we can actually have a look at what a 152,000 mile bearing looks like. So cars on the ramp, got Master Tech Aston here, he's going to go through the car and let us know what he thinks. Have we bought a complete shitter, or is it all right, or what does it need?
Well,
what are you saying? That's subframes.
There's a lot of surface rust on the subframe, first of all, and the anti-roll bar, and the bushes, and the brake lines, and the diff.
Tyres are good.
Tyres are good. Exhaust is pretty much, I don't know, it's not that bad. Brackets are a bit bad, but they're normally like that anyway.
This is rusted to hell.
That's rusted. The diff's not leaking, actually. Actually, it does look like weepage on the edge.
Do you think that's ever been serviced in its life?
Do they look like they've been done?
No. There's rust on the rust.
I don't think they've ever been done. Yeah, the brake lines are normal. It's had new brackets for the tank by the looks of it. They look quite fresh.
Yeah.
New bolts. And the heat shield, possibly. Oh, that's broken. Maybe not.
A lot of exhaust paste here. So what do you reckon's going on there? Some leaks?
I reckon
they're
you've
trying
got
to
a
patch
leak. Yeah, there's probably a leak on the welds because the weld's there. So I reckon it's probably leaking and they've just kind of filled it with whatever they can. Look, that's all coming off.
So I don't know. I don't think these have been taken off. It looks like it's got the original cats in place. Certainly sounds like that.
To be fair, I can't see any welds, which are normally like if they take them apart and then gut them. But that looks pretty solid.
What about the DCT?
DCT's leaking,
Yeah.
normal. There's no cover, so we can see it. That's good. Yeah.
So it's missing that under tray as well?
It's missing. Yeah, it's missing the under tray for the gearbox. That's how we know it's leaking. It's definitely got a bit of an oil leak somewhere because you've got it all over the engine mounts. It's a bit hard to see through the gap, but it's just up there.
All right, I can see it.
So the oil's leaking.
Yeah.
Probably rocker cover gasket.
Well, we can see that from the top, so I assume it's that.
There's some oil here as well. Or it could be, actually saying that, it could be the engine mount. Because obviously the engine mount's oil filled.
Right.
And when they break, actually that one's broken, the one behind me I'm working on now. And when they break,
Does it look like
spits
from there
everywhere.
they've ever been changed?
What, the engine mount?
Yeah. You can't tell.
It's tough to see it, but...
We'll know when we take them off.
Yeah, we'll know when we take them off, but...
Because that's normally a good indicator the rod bearings have been.
Yeah.
I don't personally think they've been done on this car, but we'll see.
Oh, that's
What?
good. That is not a standard sump bolt. We might end up needing a new sump when we do the engine.
Okay.
Because that's scraped there.
Yeah.
And that's not the original sump nut. So that is probably leaking because there's weepage around it.
Okay.
So it'll be a new pan.
But this is by far the highest mileage car we've seen, right?
Yeah, I mean...
what's the second highest one we've done?
The highest one
90
I've done rod bearings on was close to 100.
Yeah.
Close to 100k. Everything has been less than that. But at the same time, I've seen 40, 50k cars that are pretty much this condition.
Yeah, I know.
Depends on how they've been looked after.
Exterior wise, I've seen cars that are 60,000 miles in much worse condition than this.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is normal.
Yeah,
It's just
it's rip off.
they're ripped to pieces. That's kind of standard. It doesn't look like there's any power steering leaks or anything like that, which is good. I mean, generally, it's not actually terrible, to be honest. It looks like it's having a new spring.
Yeah, I'm surprised that any of the
Quite clean.
suspension components have lasted that long, to be fair. I'm guessing, well, I'm not going to drive it yet until you've done the rod bearings, but I'm guessing the suspension is going to feel pretty tired.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, the shocks don't look like they're leaking. It's no like oil or anything like that on the shocks, but like you said, if they've not been changed, that's not going to be a very strong shock anymore.
No. Cool.
Brakes, yeah, brakes ain't too bad. There's no lip on the disc. The pads are probably about 50% worn. Like I said, good tyres, so that's all right. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, whoever's had it, they've obviously been enjoying the car
Yeah.
a lot. Driving it probably on the
Yeah,
motorway.
it's definitely not been a garage queen.
No.
But, I mean, what do we expect at 100,
No.
160
That's been used
nearly?
properly.
Yeah, it's been driven.
Cool.
But yeah, it'll make a good project, that's the main thing.
Yeah, so the idea with this was to pick up the highest mileage one we could and see what goes wrong and what needs replacing to make it as good as our Japan red car, which is very, very good. So, Aston, you know what's next?
Yeah, I get to change some
Another
rod
set of rod
bearings again.
Your
Yay.
1000 set.
I don't do them often, this will be different. Cool, easy peasy.
But generally, this is what you do before you buy the car.
Yes. So don't
Yeah.
do what we've just done.
Don't
You just buy one and have it shipped
Yeah.
down. Normally you would inspect the car beforehand, but when you're buying something at this much mileage, you're going to expect to be spending some money on making it pristine.
Don't,
But I'm looking forward to seeing what we need to do with it.
don't do as we do, just do as we say, right?
yes. Correct, that is the saying.
Because we always take risks. Yeah, no, it's good to check a car over before you buy it, like generally anyway, which we do offer, so if people want to do that, we can do that. I think it's probably worth doing the side gasket when we drop the DCT as well.
Yep.
We'll do a full service on the DCT and we'll do the side gasket as well.
So that's the introduction to our new project. As I said, first order of the day is to change rod bearings over. Once we've done that, we'll get the car probably on a dyno and do a baseline, and then figure out what we need to change to make it drive as well as we can. So I'll join you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please remember to smash that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to join the conversation, please drop a comment below and we'll try our best to respond to you. If you want to watch more of this project, you can do so over here. If you want to watch what YouTube thinks you might like from our other content, you can do so over here.